Hi guys, this is take two for me. My microphone wasn't working very well last time. Alright, so my article is called "How Do I Maintain Longevity of Voice?" and obviously it's about how do we prolong our voice over a career, but it's not necessarily geared towards singers, which was interesting to me. I mean, it is, but it's the same kind of proper voice principles that singers use, but it's also geared towards what they call professional voice users, which is almost anything else, including teachers, anyone who has to do public speaking, or even anyone who has to speak over loud things like a construction worker or something. So it talks about the main key is that to use good vocal hygiene, be aware of your vocal hygiene, which is preventative measures to protect the voice. Uh, Proper training, stretching, and conditioning. It says those are as important to singers or professional voice users as they are to professional athletes. It's the same kind of you can put the same kind of strain. It's just different muscles, maybe not as big of muscles that you're using. So to keep the voice healthy, you want to prevent any unnecessary stresses, obviously, or any abuses, smoking, anything like that. And having training for standard voice users, having vocal training can really help prolong your voice over an entire career. So, and the voice medicine procedures and doctors for voice have gotten much better, it says. So how do you make your normal voice bigger? The training is a big part of that. Knowing how to build your voice, knowing how to use endurance and conditioning exercises, how to build muscle strength, and most people don't think about this because speaking is such a natural thing. They don't think that they really have to train how to speak. It's the same kind of thing that running is also a natural thing, but everyone realizes the benefits of running for training. So they argue it's the same thing for singers or speakers, that we should be training the voice like we're preparing for a long career, something that's very stressful. Uh, so it talks about taking care of the conversational voice, not just the singing voice. So things like yelling or throat clearing, and just using a general lack of support in your voice can be stressful over a long period of time on your voice. So it talks about even for these professional voice users to warm up and cool down every day, just like a singer would, or just like an athlete would, or like we would as instrumentalists. Warming up, stretching and strengthening the muscles of the vocal folds, doing breathing exercises, relaxing the muscles of phonation, and just getting resonance right, getting your forward placement of voice right, so that you can be ready to speak for a day, and you're not causing yourself harm by not supporting yourself. And then cooling down at the end of the day, stretching out the muscles, and just making sure to take care of your voice at the end of the day too. It talks about how common it is to get vocal fold injuries if you're not doing these. Misuse and abuse, the yelling, the smoking can do that, but also anyone who needs to project over loud environments, like a construction worker or even a teacher, or parents in a van or something, they have to project over a lot of noise. They can do that without even thinking about it, and they can do a lot of things wrong and cause themselves a lot of stress to their voice. So one way to stay from that is just, if you're already thinking about doing things the right way, and staying hydrated so that your throat and all that is doing well, you're not putting extra stress on it that way. It also talks about minimizing reflux, which can happen after you start doing things well and you're using abdominal support to talk. If you've ate a lot or drank a lot right before you do a lot of speaking or singing, that can cause reflux because of the pressure in your abdominals. other than that, the main keys are using good breath support, making sure everything's working that way. It talks about lungs and muscles as the power source for phonation. So no noise comes out without your lungs and muscles activating. And it says proper support of the voice can definitely minimize strain on your vocal folds and all those injuries that we talked about. And it also talks about phonation is part of the exhale. So actually speaking is also part of the breathing process. And then resonance, just you can take a lot of stress off of your voice just by using your resonators, making sure they're working. That aids a ton in projection and makes it so that your muscles aren't trying to push sound out. You're pushing it out through the resonators. Then it recommends it's written by all doctors, like medical doctors. And they at the end they recommend for everyone, every professional voice user or singer or whatever, to get a baseline laryngeal evaluation, which is evaluation of the movement of the vocal folds, and it checks for any abnormalities in your speaking, in your muscles and all that. And that's a good way. They kind of compared it to eyesight. You have your eyesight checked for strain, so that even if it's a small issue, that it can relieve, getting it checked out, getting it worked through can relieve a lot of stress over time. So diagnosing these things early can be a big factor, can help a lot in the longevity of your voice. Anyway, that's basically the overview. It says even if you're not singing, just make sure that you're supporting your voice if you're going to be speaking a lot, and think about long term how long you're going to need your voice, especially as us going into teaching, whether it's vocal or not. We're going to be speaking in loud environments. We're going to be speaking a lot probably, and so we're going to need to think about these things so that our voices don't wear down over time. And I thought it was a useful article in that way. Thank you.